Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today I'm going to be looking at Capital playing cards from Bicycle. Now, this is a remake or a reimagining of a classic deck from the 1800s, back before the company was known as the U.S. Playing Card Company. Then they were known as the Russell and Morgan Printing Card Company. It started back in 1881 with several lines including Tigers and Congress. But in 1886, they introduced a second wave, including this one, Capital. Capital included 6 different back designs. This was the very first of their back designs and the most iconic of them. And they've now been remade as a bicycle deck here in 2019. So let's take a look. Now, starting with the tuck case. The back here on a white, smooth, kind of glossy finish tuck case, you've got this really dark navy blue background. It says bicycle, not in the classic bicycle font, but a much simpler font at the top. And then Capital in really nicely embossed gold foil, one of my favorite touches on the entire tuck case, and then playing cards at the bottom. The background here features a slightly embossed image of the U.S. Capitol building with the word Capital kind of wrapped around it. Very cool vintage feel to the tuck case, but with nice touches added with the gold foiling of the Capitol there and the little bits of embossing. So pretty cool front to the tuck. On the sides, you've got air cushion finish made in the USA, just like all bicycle decks. And then the United States Playing Card Company on the other side. Bottom here has your ad copy for the United States Playing Card Company, and top has nothing printed on it. The back does not have any foiling or embossing. I think it would have been a nice touch, but it is the back design of the cards. And you can see here, there's a little touch of gold, which is actually gold metallic ink rather than foiling. But we'll look more closely at the back design of the cards in a second. Have a standard black USPCC tuck seal there as well. And then your ad copy for USPCC on the inside. Plain interior to the tuck case. That's it. Lots of USPCC branding on the tuck, as is usual with bicycle decks. Interesting because USPCC didn't exist at the time the original deck was made, but obviously makes sense today. So there's a nice true to the vintage style tuck case. Well, let's look at the cards and we'll start with the backs. So here you go. It's, again, that really dark navy blue. Almost probably looks black on camera, but it's really more of a dark navy blue. Has a casino style back with the dome of the Capitol building reflected on either side. You can see Lady Liberty very small there at the top of the dome. The dome is now wrapped with this gold metallic ink C, capital C, arcing on either side. And then you have tons of leaf and vine work going all the way around the background. And then this nice little crossed ribbon there in the center. So pretty nice ornate design to the back here. Very true to the original, with the exception of the gold metallic ink touch that was added. You have a very thick poker border on the outside as well. Makes it nice and functional. A little bit thicker than I like, but you get that a lot with bicycle decks. So there is the back design of the cards. Not bad. I think, you know, the metallic gold ink touch was nice. Give it a little bit of extra interest. Looks maybe a little bit flat, but I like that they stuck fairly true to the original design. Now, looking at the extra cards you get, here are the 2 jokers. They feature the same image of the Capitol building on either side with the dome, that kind of iconic view of the Capitol. One is done in black, the other one in gold metallics. And it's off of this kind of engraving style picture. And I'll look real close here. You can see some of the detail on the lines from the engraving going through there. So very nice, iconic image on either side. They did add the US in either corner, kind of a symbol you often see on the US Playing Card Company jokers. But then, yeah, obviously one done in black and one done in that gold metallic ink. So not bad, pretty simple jokers. Extra cards, you get 2. You get plain old ad card for bicycle. And then you get a card that kind of goes into the history of this deck. And it talks about the 6 different backs, when this was started by the Russell and Morgan Printing Company, etc. So there is your extra cards. Now let's get into the rest of the deck, and we'll start with the Ace of Spades. Again, fairly true to the original with a couple of changes to it. You have a kind of thinner and custom style Ace of Spades pip and index in the corner, but the prominent feature here in the center is the large ace of spades, the spade pip with Lady Liberty there in the center. This is actually the same statue that appears at the very top of the Capitol building, but is used on a lot of the bicycle or the US Playing Card Company decks. And then you have the cherubs on either side sort of flanking that spade as it floats in the clouds. It says US Playing Cards at the top, and then Capital in gold metallic ink in the bottom with number 188. This is the numbering system they used for the Capital brand. And then the bottom, they've replaced what was Russell and Morgan ad copy with now more modern US Playing Card Company ad copy. So they did kind of change that out to modernize it there at the bottom. The number cards are going to be fairly standard. The pip and index in the corner are a little bit smaller. The number here is written a little bit thinner. It gives it a little bit more vintage of a feel to it. And again, fairly true to the original. But otherwise, the pip arrangement, pretty standard. And then you get to the quartz. These are vintage style quartz. You can see little details in the faces that are a little bit truer to the older versions, but they've been recolored from the original. So the original one was more in a classic red, black, yellow, blue sort of color scheme. They look maybe a little bit more familiar to what you're used to. These have been recolored in these the gray and then the gold metallic ink and black. Gives it a little bit more of a high end and a little bit more modern feel. I kind of wish they'd stayed a little bit truer and kind of kept the whole deck a little truer to the original, but it's a nice recoloring nonetheless. And then running through the diamonds, we'll start speeding up through the deck because there's not too much new to speak of on the rest of this. There's your court cards there, more the same. Red and black look the same pretty much on the court cards, no differences there. And then through your clubs. And of course, close it out with the hearts. So that's it. That is the Capital playing cards. I like the historical nature of these decks. I like the remake of some of the older versions. I hope they continue doing that with some of their other decks. They made a couple of different design changes. Some of them that I think were, fine, understandable. I think the updated tuck with the embossing, very well done. I think adding that little bit of recoloring on the back, livened up a little bit of a flat back design. I do wish that they'd kept the truer color on the quartz though. That's one change that kind of wish that they hadn't made. But all in all, not too bad. It's a pretty nicely done deck of cards, very approachable. These are, $5 deck of cards, so fairly easy to find online. I'll put a link to where you can get one online as well if you're interested. So that's it. As far as handling on these, it's a bicycle deck, so it's going to handle just the way that you're used to. Fans, all that are going to work very nicely. Cuts. You could use this deck for pretty much anything. It'll handle just fine for cardistry. Obviously, it's going to be very usable for gameplay, though. Really good one to pull out for poker night. Tell a little bit of a story of the history of the deck while you're at it. That's it. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you picked one of these up for yourself. And subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. Let me know what you want to see on the channel. This was actually a suggestion from somebody in one of the comment sections on a previous video. So I do listen to those, try to pick up decks that would be interesting to you guys. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one.